what's up GITV? My name is Tim. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Tactical Gearheads. This is all the stuff that I brought out to TVB3, the return of the Axeman, or as I like to call it, the fall of the Axeman, because the elite guard for the Timpire smashed on Bob's Rebels that day. And as you can see, I have far fewer things on the table than Bob did for his episode. I have a little bit different mode of operations than Bob, or a little bit different theory on what to bring out to the field. I only bring what I need to win the game, which is probably why we won, which is basically ammo and hydration. Bob likes to carry everything that he owns on him just in case he needs it, even if he's not going to use it. But I only carry pretty much ammo and hydration. So let's go over that. This is the rig that I wore. I have a Dye i4 face mask up here. Great face mask. I've covered it in other videos. I highly recommend it if you need full face protection. This is a Specter plate carrier chest rig, and as you can see, I have 6 magazines on the front and my hydration carrier on the back. Like I said, ammo and magazines is pretty much all I carry. This is a Specter hydration pouch with a source bladder and straw. This is a really cool chest rig and I like it a lot. It does carry a plate up front. I have an insert in there. It's not ballistic, but it's wide open in the back and it has just a small MOLLE panel up at the top so that I can mount my hydration carrier. So literally it helps me carry everything I need. I decided to run a sub load on my hips. I have a battle belt here with 4 more magazines here and pouches, and I have a Maxpedition roly-poly dump pouch that I can roll up when I'm not using it and then expand it when I do need it. I have a little bit extra MOLLE real estate right here on the right side of my belt. I'm intending to put a utility pouch on here so that I can hold even more ammo in case I need to reload these magazines. So I'm anticipating, like for Lion Claws or another long game, that I'm going to need to reload my mags, and so that's what I'll probably use that space for. And as you can see, I have a G-Code RTI MOLLE mount right here, and the reason I had that mount is because I had additional gear on my legs, and so I ran a main rig, I ran a sub load, and I ran like a leg load, so a sub load if you will. So the right side of my leg, I had my G-Code RTI holster right here. This is actually a drop leg panel with another RTI panel in here so that I can change holsters depending on the gun I'm wearing. I really like the G-Code RTI setup because everything is really modular and it works well with my modular chest rig and belt setup. On the left side, another modular piece of gear I have is my drop leg M4 magazine pouch. So as you can see, I hold 4 mags here, 6 on my rig, 4 on my belt for a total of 14 magazines for the BVT game. And as you can see, I can easily clip and unclip this drop leg magazine pouch on my left leg. So I really like this Specter setup. Specter makes great gear. I've been a great big fan of Specter for a long time. I have a lot of their slings. And this setup allows me to change up what I'm gonna wear on the field based off of my needs for that game. So if I'm gonna play really quick games at like Tac City or Inside Interactive or anything like that, I'm probably just gonna run my plate carrier because 6 magazines will be enough for me. But if I run a game that's longer, I can add the belt for more magazine capacity and my dump pouch, or if I play a game like BVT or Lion Claws or something like that, where I know I'm gonna need a lot of ammo, I can add these pouches to my belt and have even more magazine capacity. Or I can flip-flop some stuff. If I'm going CQB, I can ixnay the plate carrier, run the belt, and run the drop leg, or just run the belt if I know I'm only gonna need 4 pouches. So I have a lot of options with this tactical gear setup, and I am really happy with that. Other than that, I had a couple of other miscellaneous things about my person. I had these Hatch X-Tag knee pads to help protect my knees. Great for playing outdoors or indoors. You don't want to kneel down on a BB, that really hurts. And I also had these Mechanics Impact 2 gloves to help protect my hands. I already went over the plate carrier and the face mask and everything like that. That's pretty much going to cover my tactical gear. The only other stuff that you don't see here that I was wearing was my Condor Elite tactical boots. Great boots for the money. I also own a pair of Oakley SI boots. I'm not going to say the Condor is on par with Oakley, but it's definitely a great boot at a great cost. And I had some True Spec BDUs in multicam. I think it paired really well with the Coyote Brown tactical gear. That's going to cover my gear. As you can see, I have 2 guns in front of me and my sidearm. We're going to go over those shortly after this commercial break.
I just saved a bunch of money with the savings trifecta. I wonder how many BBs I can get with the money I saved. Maybe I don't need that many BBs.
Hey, welcome back. We've already gone over my tactical gear, so let's talk about these two guns. First of all, this is an FN SCAR. Now, I have to admit, I didn't actually use this gun for the BBT game, but what happened was Ryan, our friend Ryan from Airsoft HD, flew all the way from California, from Minnesota to California to play for the Timpire. He was at the first game, but this time, you know, before Ryan came out, we kind of talked, and he said he didn't want to hassle with sending his guns or gear here prior to him leaving. He didn't really want to bring it all on the plane in a big carry-on. So I told him, hey, I've got plenty of guns. You can use my SCAR at the game, and he had a really good time with this SCAR. It's a FN SCAR licensed by Cybergun. It's OEM by G&G. I have a G&G barrel extension on the front here. There's no inner barrel in there, it's just for looks, and we have a 4x zoom scope on the top here. Ryan said he had a great time. He teamed up with Josh, our head editor, for most of the game, and those guys did a really good two-man game to take out a lot of Bob's Rebels. So he said he had a great time at the game. I did actually use this gun during the Bob and Tim Storm the Midwest game, and I have to say that it is a great gun. Ryan said he had a great time using it too, so I just wanted to mention that. But my particular gun that I was using was this bad boy. This is a custom M4 that I have been building. It's pretty much done now, but this used to be a Tokyo Marui SR16, so it had a plastic body, full stock, 14-inch barrel, and a really wobbly two-piece rail system. It is now completely customized, and I actually used this thing at the beginning of BBT2, and I noticed that I was slowly stripping my piston as the game went on, so I set the gun away, and I really haven't used it since. Prior to BBT3, I gave it a Frank. I had him tune up the internals, make it reliable, so I knew I wouldn't have to worry about it once I was on the field. Like I said, this is a fully customized M4. This is a King Arms CQBR front end kit. Comes with the barrel, the PRI sight, and the free float rail system. It also comes with an imitation gas tube that I opted not to install because you don't really need it. This is a Mad Bull RAS fix to help bridge the gap between my free float rail system and the upper receiver. And I'm using it as a riser for my Aimpoint Comp M2. I don't really use my optics when I'm on the field. I just kind of see where the BBs are flying, but the Comp M2 looks really nice on there, so I decided to throw it on, and it doesn't weigh a whole lot. I have a standard broom handle vertical grip on here. A lot of people ask me why I don't use my M900 because I have one. I know it's a really highly coveted light, but to be completely honest with you, it is really heavy. That light weighs over 2 pounds, and since I wasn't going to be using it to blind anyone at the game, I opted to go with the lighter weight vertical grip. Flip-up sights, pretty standard. This is a GMP Special Forces metal body. It's got a really cool Special Forces insignia right here, and it's got some Arabic right here that says, "Stay back 100 meters or you will be shot." So I thought this was a really cool body. Once I broke the previous metal body that was on this gun, I decided to upgrade with this thing. This is a Classic Army CQBR stock, which holds my battery. As you can see, the wires come out of the back of the gun here, and this is a Magpul Miad pistol grip in which I have a Sistema Magnum motor installed in here. Internally, I just kind of had Frank refresh the piston, refresh my gears up with some good shimming. I have a Kevin Sorbo pad in here to help protect the front of the gearbox since this gun is shooting pretty darn hard. And yeah, that pretty much is going to cover it with the gun. The only thing that I want to cover is my sling attachment point. I normally run a Magpul MS2 sling or my Irene adaptive sling when I'm on the field, but Specter is now coming out with a new type of sling that can be woven into your gear. So they made it so that you can weave it into your molly, but what I've decided to do is rig my sling back here on this tri-lock on my rig and run the sling through my shoulder pad on my right shoulder and have it connect right there so that I can easily connect my gun to my sling when I don't need it. I can easily shoot from my right shoulder. There's enough slack on that, but if I need to switch shoulders, what I need to do is just quickly disconnect that and use it with my left shoulder. But I'm really happy with this sling setup here on my rig. It keeps my gun high and out of the way if I need to use my hands, and it also distributes the weight of the gun onto my rig as opposed to on my neck or anything like that. So I really am digging a lot of this Specter gear that I was using for BBT3. I've never run this rig setup before. I've never run this sling setup before BBT3, and I'm really happy with it. And that's pretty. Oh, I forgot about my pistol. Okay, KWA Mark II 1911, pretty standard gun. I haven't done any modifications to this thing other than put the shorter barrel on it because the barrel that comes with it is not accurate. And it's a pretty solid gun. To be honest with you, I didn't even use it when I was on the field. I very rarely pull out my sidearm when I'm on the field, but I like to have it with me just in case, not to mention it looks really awesome. mixed up with my gear. So that's pretty much just going to cover my gun, my gear, Ryan's gun that he had a great time using, my Specter Tactical Gear that I was able to use on the field, and the other miscellaneous equipment that I had for BBT3. Thanks for joining me for another episode of GITV. We're going to have more Tactical Gearheads coming up. We have our head editor, Josh, that said he had a great time at BBT3. He also has a pretty cool gear and gun setup, and I want him to share that with you. So stay tuned to GITV. My name is Tim. Thanks for watching.